Why are some relationships so wholesome while others so toxic? It is partially due to the mindset of the involved, a choice between staying stubbornly in their trenches to save ego, not having an unpleasant gut feeling, or overcoming pride and taking the first step to find a common ground for a better future. To view the other person as an enemy because the goal is to be right, or as an ally due to desire to find out the truth. That is why I agree to Loid that it's always more productive to focus on future plans than mistakes of the past. Because by concentrating too much on what was can miss future opportunities. In general, dwelling on the past too much frees the person, but trying their best the next time lets them move on. Anya and Damien show toxic, dysfunctional relationships, but Loid and Yor healthy, where they complete each other. For example, Damien's ego is too fragile, and a mere Anya's smile angers him so much that he, like a flamethrower, constantly mildly abuses her mentally and physically. But Anya, like a bomb, seems relatively calm, but being pushed too far lets all that suppressed resentment out all at once in a severe attack. The relationship destroys them both. Meanwhile, Lloyd has no problems to truly consider Yor's opposite point of view regarding Anya's studies and self-reflects because perceives the said not as a negative judgment of his capabilities, intellect, and by extension an attack to ego, but as a kind attempt to help by giving an extra insight. That is why Lloyd has so easy to admit own limitations and ask for extra advice, in the result doing the job better. Moreover, the mindset positively influences your because it is welcoming and there is no need to get abusive to be truly heard. That is why, although usually she is not outspoken and regarding Anya can be triggered very easily, going turn princess mode. But in the case of Lloyd, she tries to be more active, and even when he is very harsh on Anya during their study session, Yor still is deeply respectful without any trace of anger because sees the good intentions. The relationship makes them both grow, not only Yor to learn to be more straightforward due to the mentioned environment, being even directly encouraged by Lloyd, but also Twilight. He can be such a control freak. That is why depending on others scares him so much, even more than deactivating a very dangerous rocket with 1 second left. Still, again and again his trust to Yor has been shown. For instance, to go after a uniform, knowing about the possibility of Anya's kidnapping, and even admits his dependency on her by saying, I rely on you to be everything that I'm not. Oh my god. Because she constantly delivers value. In episode 2, your kicking man who attacked from Twilight's blind spot is a great visualization of her contribution to the relationship. Lloyd might take a lead, but Yor will always have his back when things get too difficult for the partner. They have such great synergy. Moreover, Lloyd has no problems expressing his affection to Yor, admitting how important she is and truly accepts her sincere apology, therefore growing closer. Meanwhile, Damien is in love with Anya but goes into tsundere mode, bullying her. Moreover, after Anya's sincere apology, the boy could have gotten closer, but due to ego, the opposite happened, trying to permanently burn down the bridge. This also shows that for wholesome relationships, both parties need to have a certain mindset, and one-sided effort can go only so far. Also, people should try their best to educate about the better way of thinking, but if the other again and again stubbornly refuses to even consider, then it might be better to just move on because it's futile. Either the teacher is not skillful enough, or the student is too ingrained in a certain headspace. In Damien's case, he hates and falls in love with Anya because she defied him, crushing his worldview. On the one hand, Damien feels a very bad gut feeling being out of his comfort zone, but on the other, feels tempting novelty, maybe even being somewhat completed by the other person. This again shows how adult is Twilight and child is Damien. While one adapts, the other desperately holds onto the known. Also, very interesting was the conversation about studying. Various people have different motivations. One's wish to gain awards and prestige to feel superior, others' approval of siblings and parents. That is why teaching can be so difficult. Reaction of various people to one and the same stimulus will be very different. For example, for one's harsh discipline like strict deadlines, constant supervision will be very helpful to concentrate, but others will feel too restricted, stressed to do anything. That is why self-introspection, gaining extra insights as Loid does, is so important. This extends to all my advice. Judge yourself how well they work out for you and adapt accordingly. Quoting Bruce Lee, be like water, like Loid did at the beginning, threatening to not let Anya watch her beloved cartoon, but afterward took the first step, admitting own mistake and allowing to watch. Yours advice to reward effort, not results, is so great and really resonated with me because I struggle with perfectionism, and this type of mindset really helps to overcome it. I use this in my cognitive behavioral therapy. Firstly, identifying a toxic belief like only results matter. Secondly, use reasoning to challenge it like what point to be rich, famous, etc. if in the process is destroy physical and mental health, therefore cannot enjoy the achieved. Moreover, I cannot fully control the outcome, only at the best my own actions. Thirdly, substitute the toxic belief with a much healthier, like I must much more concentrate on my actions and take care of own health. Only then reflect about the results in a way which does not go against the priorities. As a result, it is much easier to forgive myself mistakes and move on. This makes it easier to work. For example, if I expect to write flawlessly due to the pressure, it is very difficult to start and the process is so exhausting. But if I only concentrate on what to do and accept whatever result I will get, then usually I go into the zone, the flow, and become so productive. Also, with the mindset I keep high motivation even if the results are poor. But I really love the creative, or at least proud of my actions. Also, Twilight emphasizing patience to achieve something big is a very useful advice. For instance, to finish a long road takes more than a few steps. Each step, no matter how small, takes a little bit closer to the goal, and combined leads to achieve it. So even if I do not see the results from the get-go, looking back in a long enough time frame, I will notice the progress. I chuckled when Anya said, "Would I get to be a milady too?" And Becky answered, "We are not adopting you." As a manga reader, it hit extra hard. Moreover, Becky and Anya are so cute together, but still the teacher is scared of her, similar to the director of the orphanage, not to mention the other classmates who isolate both girls. The juxtaposition between how others perceive Anya as a super dangerous ringleader and that she truly is a very nice cute girl is so hilarious for me. Anya trying to find an answer to the task by reading Loid's and yours minds and failing miserably is not only funny, but also again establish limitations of her current ability. The author again excellently used the running joke that Twilight is a spy 24/7. This time to the spy's initial reactions that Becky is an agent of an enemy organization, or that he can be such a control freak, like messaging Anya such as with Light, and she misunderstands it as a message from God. Although she was off only by a little bit, because Twilight is a god tier character. Also, the conversation of Yor and Loid made me ship them even more. You can really feel a bond between them. Similarly with Yuri teaching his big sis deep care about each other. Please, comment how do you imagine great relationships? What motivates you to study or work?